honest. That's all I got. So we are segue-less to enter the show, but as we start every show, fast food review time. I don't even think that's how it was last time.
That wasn't. Nope. It was nope.
Okay.
You got to do it. Remember, do it correctly.
Fast food review. Was that what it was?
That was
okay.
it.
All right.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, and if we pretend it's accurate every time and yet it's different, that can be a wonderful
its own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a wonderful bet.
So I get looking forward to this every week. This week was the Subway buffalo or barbecue chicken. You had the option of going for that. So I'll start this week. Jason, what did you go with?
Can I just
Or you have a question? Yes,
question for you guys. Mm-hmm. Is Subway fast food?
Oh yeah,
I think so. I think if it's it doesn't have a drive. Some have drive.
It does. Yeah, the one on College has a drive-through.
Okay.
I procured my Subway sandwich today through a drive-through.
Okay.
And it was the Frank's Buffalo chicken sandwich.
Okay.
I went foot long. I was hungry.
Oh, okay. You were okay.
And I did as suggested by Deion Sanders in the commercial. I went lettuce, tomato, cucumber, hot sauce, chicken, ranch.
Okay.
Wheat bread.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine.
Yeah.
They put the chicken on.
Mm-hmm.
Then they soused it.
Soused it after their words, yes.
And I was expecting a chicken in a bowl.
Like a pre-sauced bowl?
Sauced, yeah, like a...
No.
And then...
It was just chicken.
That's not how it went down.
Yep, that was how mine went down as well. Caleb, did you do Red Hot too, or did you do barbecue?
No, I did the barbecue one.
Yeah, you're not a big spicy guy, so
not really.
I got to tell you though, it wasn't very spicy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it would even seem like a watered down Red Hot, Frank's Red Hot.
It was Frank's. It was fine.
Yeah, I had pretty much the same thing that you did, Jason. I did the 6-inch because I was going to do some drinking that night, so I didn't want to overload my belly with a foot long. I did lettuce, tomato, ranch, pickles. Was my difference, also on wheat. But yeah, I'm gonna go. It was fine. To me, it tasted like every other Subway sandwich. Like Subway has a taste. Like it tasted like a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did mine through the Subway app.
Oh, okay.
So I selected the barbecue chicken footlong and I took it as is. Whatever they put on there is what I went with.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't even remember what was on there, but it was like lettuce, tomato, onion. I don't know.
I didn't know there was a Subway default. Now I learned that today.
Onion on barbecue. I didn't know that, but I would have thought like they're probably going onion with the barbecue. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It was fine. It was. The other thing is, when you order through the app, they make it ahead of time so you can pick it up, which is super convenient. But since it was toasted and then it was sitting in the sauce, it was a little weird consistency. So I don't recommend getting
soggy
that.
Feel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was like it got soggy and then dried up a little bit. So it was a weird mouthfeel, but it was fine.
You guys want to dish out numbers?
5.
Yep. 5. Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, Subway. You
made the most average sandwich.
You're not memorable. I will say, and also for a specialty sandwich, I think the part of my 5 is the value that I got out of that sandu not there. Like especially since this is a fast food segment, I could have got 2 4-for-4s at Wendy's and like just been passed out naked on my rug.
Yeah, that thing was like what,
wrappers and
$8.79 for a foot long, I think.
It was just
stupid.
Under 10.
I was like, what the hell?
It was just under $10. Yeah. I was like, well, I already had this in my head. I'm doing it. I don't want to get like salty ass chips. So like,
yeah.
I should.
I will say though,
bad value.
Surprisingly good on the calories for that sandwich. It was only like 700 calories or something like that. So
Did you go
for
foot
the foot
long?
long,
Oh,
yeah,
for a
for
foot
the foot
long.
long,
For a foot
yeah.
long, that's actually really good
That
then.
it was not bad at all, and I was super hungry that night, so it worked out pretty well.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The woman so nice in the drive-through, by the way. Shout out to you, woman, today, October 19th
19th.
at the College Avenue drive-through. She was very nice. I was pleasantly surprised. She even tried to upsell me. It was going so well for both of us. Double meat, sir? I'm like, this is $10 already. No.
I believe if you double meat, you get a free cookie. That's what it.
Yes,
That
that was
was
it.
which that almost sold it for me, but I was like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe another day. But
Yep.
yeah. So we have next week. We have options. I guess the world is open. I did see one new item floating around as I was watching football this weekend. That's where you can.
Okay.
That's where I see things. Let me double check the name on it because it was a rather long name. I had to write it down. This is at Sonic, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I know, right? Yeah. So it's like, whoa, hey, we're getting unique here. Oh my God, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. The Junior Garlic Butter Bacon Burger.
Yeah,
Okay.
the two there's the two women shame eating it in the car in
Yeah.
the commercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all guilty pleasure about it. Like,
Yeah, and they're like
don't
garlic.
you dare, Susan. Go away, Karen. This is my sandwich. That's not how it goes. I'm sorry. Sorry,
It,
Sonic. You should have kept the two white guys in the car. What happened to the two white guys?
yeah, they're
Those
overdone.
two, dude, they had that gig for like 2
That's what
decades.
I mean. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's fine if they move on from those two guys. I'm perfectly happy with
It
that.
really is. It really is, man. Those guys, they cashed that check for a long
Yeah, they
time from
did.
Sonic.
They were reaching flow from progressive territory. That's
Not
Flo's had a
quite
good
Corona
run.
palm tree
no,
territory, but
no, but so I that's just something that popped in my head. I don't know if unless anybody else has a
yeah,
better option. Okay.
Let's do it.
So all
Let's
right,
do
so
it.
the
yeah.
Sonic
We,
Junior Garlic Butter Bacon Burger.
at some point, guys, we have to diverge. We have to disagree on something. So I wonder when that will be.
So they're gonna have to come out with multiple things at once. Like we're gonna have a week that comes up where it's like, okay, Taco Bell's got some new hot item, and McDonald's comes out with something new for a change. And well, I guess they did have the spicy nuggets recently, which we didn't get into, but
Have you seen what the new McDonald's thing is?
yeah, they're like getting random celebrities, like, and I would say like C tier celebrities
Yeah. So
to
the new
like
one, I
name
don't
a
even know
meal.
who this guy
I don't
is.
either.
Jay
But
Balvin?
yeah, I have no idea who that is.
God, you're so old, Caleb. I have no clue who that is.
Okay.
Well, the first one was
But
Travis Scott.
the meal
That I did know.
is the J Balvin meal is it's just a Big Mac with no pickles. That's it.
And a
That's the whole
McFlurry.
thing. Like that's your special meal? Like that's pretty weak.
Yeah, it was pretty weak. Yeah, at least the Travis Scott meal was like, oh hey, it was like a quarter pounder with bacon and something else, right?
Barbecue sauce, wasn't
Barbecue sauce, maybe.
I don't think
maybe
it
I got
was.
that wrong.
It was something.
It was lettuce and something.
Yeah, it was something that's typically like you'd have to customize that like a lot.
Yeah.
Like people order burgers all the time and hold the pickle or hold the onion. Like no, add something to it to make it unique. That's for sure. Yeah, so I agree. Yeah, they need to diverge a little bit and get something a little bit better. I guess if they're looking for YouTube stars or whatever, here we are because we're
Yeah.
stars, right?
Yeah, what would be each of our McDonald's custom orders? I wonder.
Oh,
The McJordan.
What was the McJordan?
The burger with barbecue with I think that's what I had. Maybe that's why I had it. It was barbecue sauce bacon. It was like a barbecue sauce bacon cheeseburger. It was his sandwich. And
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed it. It was when Logan, we were probably like 8.
Oh, yeah,
9,
somewhere around there, yeah.
younger, but I remember that sandwich, and people have forgotten it. Like, I remember it like yesterday.
I don't remember what was on it, but there was the beef Wellington that McDonald's that they sold for a while with Bill. It was only in the Chicagoland area, but with Bill Wennington. I can't remember what was on it now. There used to be a burger at McDonald's that I would pull myself back into. It was a cheddar melt, Yeah, so it was like melted cheddar on like a semi rye bread bun. Uh, but if I could do that and throw a slice of bacon on there instead, yeah, I think that would be my McDonald's thing.
What if you did like a quarter pounder, but
Mhm.
instead of ketchup and mustard, you did the mayonnaise?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the
Maybe,
Whopper
maybe, maybe.
Mhm.
combination. Whopper leans heavy on the mayo.
Yeah.
That's as creative as I'm gonna get here.
Okay. Hey, you had to work within McDonald's parameters. That was what you were
Yeah,
given.
yeah.
The beef Wellington. Speaking of not in McDonald's parameters, Logan,
Mhm.
the beef Wellington. The burger had a single beef patty, cheese, onions, barbecue sauce. The Bulls love the barbecue sauce, and a slice of Canadian bacon.
Interesting.
Well,
No thanks.
no, well, no, but that's what's on an egg McMuffin. So that's in there.
Oh, so there's a
Yeah,
burger patty and a slice of Canadian bacon
yeah,
on the McMuffin.
yeah.
No, there. Look,
No, no,
it's
no, no,
just the Canadian bacon. I know.
no. But you could still make it at McDonald's. I thought you meant that like you couldn't make it
Oh, the
there.
ingredients.
Yeah, the ingredients are all there. Oh, I didn't even think about that. If you could
Oh
throw,
yeah, you could add breakfast stuff.
oh man, now this is all changed.
So now we're
Okay,
getting eggs and stuff
now,
on there
yeah,
too.
now I
So
want a quarter pounder with a egg McMuffin, circle egg on it, and bacon and mayo. And barbecue sauce. Yeah, that's what I want on my mayo, barbecue sauce, bacon, and an egg. I'm gonna see if I can order that next time.
all right, McDonald's, we're available.
We're
Let us
here.
know. We're
Yeah,
cheap
I
too.
know, and we've even got it down there.
I hear you have iced tea, McDonald's. Congratulations. You keep me up late for these podcasts.
Sure do. Well, before you fall asleep, why don't you tell us what you've been playing this week?
I have video games. I played them.
You do.
Let's talk most prominently. I have reached the end of my journey through Tsushima.
Ah,
I
Nice.
have liberated all of Tsushima. I have no idea how many hours it took. A lot is the answer. I have decided not to platinum that game because I want to play other things. But I really enjoyed the end of that game, Caleb. I don't want to, we can probably get into moments later, but you said very accurately the story for that game is very A to B, and there's not a whole lot of complexity between characters or their arcs individually. Kind of goes exactly where you think it's going to go, but none of that is really a bad thing. I will say I was counter to my point. Sorry, I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but I was a little surprised by the ending. Honestly, I did not see the final twist coming. If you want to call it a twist, I just didn't. I didn't. I thought it would be a little bit rosier, just considering how some of the side quests wrapped up for me before that. Like there was some loss and some tension, but ultimately, like um, Jin's relationship with those characters was pretty vanilla, you know?
Yeah, and it's a little surprising because they didn't really set it up for Ghost of Tsushima 2. You know?
No, I
not
mean
everything has to have
maybe
one.
this is it could genuinely be a one off, don't you think?
Yeah, it could, but it's just kind of surprising that in this day and age they aren't trying to, have a million sequels to it.
Sucker Punch is what have they done besides Infamous? Is anybody? I mean, before that it was
Sly Cooper.
Sly, right? So they did Infamous for talk about
Yeah.
2 decades, like a long time. So it would be interesting if they weren't really preparing to work in that universe for a long time. Having said that, Ghost of Tsushima is dense, and if they did a second one of those, they would need to take a pretty significant leap forward based on the structure of the game because they can't get away with being good to great, whatever the word is between their like open world game, like polished open world game, the way it is. Like it's a new arena that's investigated and they treat it with such care, which is great. But you can't be now, especially you can't be the best Assassin's Creed game or the best Far Cry game and take all those elements and be very good. They would have to do something different, in my opinion. But having said that, it doesn't take away from the strengths of this first outing, and I really like the end of that game a lot narratively. I really do.
Yeah.
And
we'll be
I'm
talking more
glad
about that game for sure.
Yeah, I'm with all those hours invested. I'm glad I felt that way. Without I would have been disappointed if I sunk that much time in it and then took care of all the side content and then went to the main end of the narrative, right? And then be like, oh, what a bummer. But I don't think it is. I think it's a nice solid landing. Yeah, 4.5 stars. I don't know. So I'm done with that finally. I have other games. Does anybody else want to go?
Oh, you're done. Okay.
With Ghost, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about it at the end of the year and get into spoiler territory.
No, I just more thought you were going to go to the next game.
I can, if you want me to.
Okay.
I have.
Yeah, because you have more than we do.
I have continued with Spiritfarer.
Mm-hmm.
That game it's got that loop, like that melt away the time loop, like yes. Those, like what kind? Is there a genre for this, Caleb? What is this genre? Like, what is Harvest Moon and what is Animal Crossing and what is Stardew? Besides like time eaters.
Casual.
Casual.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. Maybe there's a better simulation. I don't know.
I'm not really sure either. Yeah.
Whatever you call that genre, it's very good at it, and the it's weird. I wasn't so hot on the gameplay and more hot on the characters, and as it goes along, I'm like switching. Like, I really enjoy playing this, and I'm like, these characters are okay,
Depends on your characters, yeah.
Right. Depends on how you feel about them, and you guys have talked about it. Some click with you, and some don't. So, and maybe that is a mechanic issue because some of them are pickier and harder to feed and harder to please than the others, and some of them require more exotic resources to advance their storyline, and some don't. It's like, oh, I have all this in my inventory. Let's get you off this pretty purgatory.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Call it that, yeah.
But I think I don't know. I think that's like the in between game, and I hope I finish it before the end of the year.
I hope you do too.
Because I like it. It's just like I'm more excited to play something else, so I'll play it. Then I go back to Spiritfarer, and it feels good. It's that cool down like we were talking about for me.
Oh, and it's the right kind of game for that too. It's not like you're gonna forget how to play Spiritfarer,
No, yeah, it's not a lot of deep mechanics there.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You can just pop up your menu at any point and go, oh, these are the tasks I got to do. Okay, like that's easy enough. Like, yeah, that would be. You can go to the map and find out. Oh, that's where these resources are again. Okay, yeah. Where do you think you are in that game? I'm trying to just help you gauge before the literal shit hits the fan with the games here.
I have a lot of folks on my boat still. I've still only sent off Gwen.
Yeah.
I do have, I think, Astrid, Alice, Atul, and Summer are all on my boat.
I went through a phase
towards the end of like I've done a lot with them individually, so I feel like and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's going to be a point where it's going to be like send you off, send you off, send you off, send you off, because I've just done so much for all of them.
What upgrades do you have for the boat as far as like the whole, like the what areas can you get to?
None.
Okay.
I spent all of my
quite a ways to go then.
I spent all of my resources in the size of the boat.
Oh, well, which that doesn't matter because your those upgrades, the upgrades to get other places are typically not coin based or currency based.
Okay.
They're more item based, isn't that right?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that I need to investigate that then? Yeah. I could probably maybe I have the materials to do it.
So you need to when you talk to that dude, the shark Albert, the shark man. Check out.
He's great, by the way.
His jokes. There's an achievement for listening. There's an achievement for listening to all of Albert's bad jokes.
Not all of them, just 10 of them.
Just 10 of them. That's right. Yeah. I couldn't remember how many there were. But yeah, check that the status on those because that's you might even be holding on to a couple characters that if you move on to the next area, you might get that last resource or something that will put you over. I think it's ice first. Is that right, Caleb? Or is it mist first? It might be
I think it's
ice.
ice.
It's ice,
Pretty
then
sure it's ice.
rock, then mist, I think. Because, yeah,
Something
that's
like that.
upper map, and then the right is the rock, and the bottom is the mist, if I remember right.
The one material I've had trouble with is aluminum. I don't think I've come across aluminum yet.
That is in the upper left corner of the map, and I think that is after the ice.
Okay.
I think you have to
Have you
get
run
the.
into any of the giant turtles yet?
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
So
Once you get something rare like that, you can go back to those turtles and then just get a shit ton of it.
yeah, so
That's
like
good.
you'll plant something in the turtle's back, and then you'll when you go to
Yeah.
mine it, you'll get like 8 of them in return. So and there's 3 spots on each of the turtles' back, so you can turn 3 items into 24 overnight.
That's great.
Literally overnight in the
Sure.
game.
Well, that's good because I don't want to grind. I don't really. That would be if I was at the point where I do. I do like this game, but it hasn't felt like I'm grinding yet.
You'll get
And
there.
if I do,
Yeah.
then I might. That is a bit of a concern for me because
You
I
know,
don't know if I enjoy the cycle enough to grind through it. But
if
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, even if I mean there will be a point in time where you're gonna have to grind, even if you're not going to max the game out. That's the there,
Okay.
and it all depends on kind of how you start with each character and how you flow through each one of them. I think that's probably where it just depends on where you are and where you end up with certain characters and certain tasks. So,
Okay.
mhm.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. I find myself gravitating towards the new thing
yeah.
and then coming back to
Because
it
Spirit
because I
Fair is
know
two
it's
months
always going
old.
to be there.
I'm just giving you
Well,
shit.
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
just giving
no,
you a hard time, but
true.
it's just there's so much coming out right now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's the way it feels. It's like, oh yeah, that's yesterday's news. Like there's something new coming out.
I kind of want it to be though, like the way that I'm playing things right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the steady gaming force as I
Mm-hmm.
dabble in other things.
Yeah, got it. So yeah, and then you downloaded, and we've all been playing a little bit of Hades, right?
Yeah, I played Hades for the first time today.
Okay, so you're probably what, like maybe an hour or so in, or maybe a little bit
Mm,
longer,
yeah, like an hour and a half,
hour and a
probably.
half. Okay.
Yep.
Caleb, you have beat Hades? No?
I
Or
don't want to. I have to tiptoe around this because you guys haven't finished it yet.
okay.
So
How many runs are you in, Caleb? How do you know that number off the top of your head? Or
I
just a
think
guesstimate?
I think it was either 14 or 16.
Holy piss.
I got super lucky
Uh-huh.
on a run where you know how like occasionally one of the weapons will glow and then you get extra resources if you use that weapon.
Yeah, well, it's extra dark, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
So it was the gun, which I didn't really
I hate
think I
the
liked
gun.
that much,
Yeah.
but I picked that up because it was glowing. And then immediately I got a boon that was plus 300% damage on your special.
Uh-huh.
And then immediately after that, got another one that was um, double damage on your special. And so I kept upgrading that one over and over
So
again.
you're like at 800% like already on
So
your
like
special.
everything in the first two areas died in one hit from the special.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the third area, it was like 2 hits, sometimes 3. Bosses, like just huge chunks of them came down with every hit. Especially if it was a boss that was stationary, like the bone hydra, it
Mm-hmm.
just melted because I could just stand there and just pelt it and it couldn't do anything to me. So I got pretty lucky with that. Um, then I got to the end,
Mm-hmm.
and the game really, really pissed me off. And I can't say why until you guys are there, unless you're okay with me spoiling. So I will hold off on that.
Yeah, okay. Jason, have you made it to bosses yet?
One boss,
So the
and I can't
Fury.
I can't remember her name.
It's the Fury, Megara.
Yeah, Meg.
Okay, Meg. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She pretty much destroyed me, and that
Mm-hmm.
was it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. You'll get to
and
the
I've only
point.
seen her once. The rest of my runs, I didn't make it back to her. It's almost
Okay.
Game
like I was
game
I
is
was on
hard.
a
It's hard.
different I was on a different path almost. It seemed like maybe I'm wrong about that, but it seemed
It's
like
all
I was
procedurally
opening up
generated.
more rooms. Yeah, and yeah, I understand that. It just seemed these games that I've played before, it's still, regardless of procedural generation, everything was still scaled kind of the same way.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way about this necessarily, but maybe it's just the doors I'm choosing to go in. I don't know.
So I'm on run 35.
Whoa.
Yeah. I have fought Hades probably 6 or 7 times, somewhere around there. I have taken him down to under a quarter health 3 times in a row, and that was as of last night. I have done 3 runs today. Have come nowhere close to even getting back to that level at all. It is like all of a sudden a switch is either flipped in the game or me, and I all of a sudden am terrible at that game, and I don't know what's going on. Like every boon that they give me is complete trash today. Like I shouldn't even turn the game on anymore. Like it has been so awful. Like I don't even know where to
I
begin.
So that happened to me. I
Uh-huh.
had like 3 runs in a row where I was like, these boons have all been complete garbage. I don't want any of this stuff that they're giving me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I turned it off for the night. And then the next day when I turned it on was the run where I got to the end.
Okay. Because my
So
God, today has
maybe,
been
yeah,
awful.
maybe after.
Like I have just been like this. Like I'm done with this game. I'm so
Yep.
annoyed. Like I couldn't even get to the last level today. Um, yeah, I have. So yeah, so Caleb, that or you and Jason too for you that wall, the mirrored wall. I've had so much dark. It's almost done. Like it's almost completely full. I have. I bet I could probably only spend maybe another 1,000 dark, and that thing's going to be fully maxed out. And here I am, still not finishing the
Have
game
have you
because
turned
I
on God
Hmm.
suck.
mode?
What is God mode?
So it's in the options menu, and
Mm-hmm.
basically what it does is the only difference it makes is it decreases damage you take by 20%. And then every time you die, it adds 2% to that, up to a maximum of 80%. So if you're really struggling, turn that on, and then at
Mm,
least you'll be like, you'll be feeling in your head like you're making progress because every run will get a
yeah,
little bit easier.
I'll try to give it another shot tomorrow a little bit with some of them because I'm at the point where I'm not gaining anything new. It's all
Yeah,
about luck of what boons I get right now because I'm not really getting much from upgrading myself anymore.
and you can turn that on and off again as you want. So
Hmm.
if you're like, wow, I don't really need God mode, you can turn it off, and then when you turn it back on, it'll still be at the same level you left it. So you could do that.
Okay. Maybe I'll think about that if I'm really I don't want to do that, but it's because yeah, this game's hard. This game
It's
is
very hard.
it's not an easy game. So yeah, that's for sure. But at the same time, I can't stop playing it. Like obviously, I've done 35 runs. Like I've been doing almost nothing but playing Hades. Like it's been a lot. So and that's the thing. Each one, if you get a run where you're actually making it to Hades, it's about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So these are sizable chunks of the day that sometimes these are taken up. I mean, yeah,
That was
because
about the time for Dead Cells.
hmm
45 minutes. Yeah.
hmm
Are you getting much out of the narrative?
I was, and now obviously I'm kind of running into the same rehash of stuff over
Okay.
and over again. I would say probably the first 10 to 15 runs was useful stuff, and now not so much.
I feel like I'm missing something because I've heard so many people say how good the narrative is in this game,
I
and
also
nothing's really happened. I don't know. I'm not getting that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm also seeing that people are just maybe better at it than I am, and they're finishing it at run 20, and so they're probably just like, okay, well, they got they're not seeing the same thing over and over again. So maybe there's that. I don't know.
I didn't anticipate the. I guess Caleb, you could probably answer this question because you've played more Supergiant games than I have. I didn't anticipate the bullet hell nature of this game, because it's isometric, but there's still like it still feels like a Gunstar Heroes Cuphead to me at times, where
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely playing defense
Oh
more than
yeah.
offense, and so I it took me a little while later on in the day as I advanced to adjust to that, because I just didn't know that that's what I was getting into. Is that a Supergiant thing, or is that new to Hades?
It has been. Bastion had some of that in it for sure, but I wouldn't say it's like a staple or anything.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
If I could probably be just fine in this game if it wasn't for Theseus.
That boss is hard. Boss
It's
is really
so
hard.
freaking hard. It's the third. There's four main areas, Jason, and this is at the end of the third one. It's Theseus and the Minotaur. Holy crap, that one is it's insanely hard. The Minotaur just is balls out coming at you the whole time, and then Theseus has a shield, so you when you go to hit him from the front, he blocks everything. So you got to either dash through him and quickly get on the other side, or you've got to have some other way of back attacking him,
So
which is the
the
spear.
strategy for that fight
Mhm.
is you pretty much have to take out the Minotaur first.
Right, that's yeah, you have to because halfway through Theseus will be like, "Oh, I need help from the gods." And all of a sudden, he gets help from Zeus, Poseidon, whoever it is, and they're just throwing like the big circles on the board, like three-quarters of the screen, like just chasing you around. It's absolutely brutal. It's the worst thing. I've been trying to figure out a better way of doing that, but I lose easily 3 lives on that one. That's and if I can't get another Death Defiance at the end of that, I'm hurting.
Yeah.
So I can make it all the way up until that point without using a Death Defiance, but except for today's runs, I've been losing to the Furies even like I've been losing a life there. I'm like really okay. Game's
Yep.
frustrating. It's good but frustrating. I would say though that when like you said about the narrative is I wouldn't say that's this game's strength by any means.
Right.
Not at
Yeah, I'm
all.
just a little surprised to see so many people praising it for that and then getting in there and being like, this isn't really what I expected.
Maybe it's just the fact that there
Um
is a narrative in the game.
I
There you
I
go.
think maybe.
The
I
the people, the community that play these games are not used to that. Or if you're really into this genre, you're getting like little to no story, or some of it you're interpreting on your own. And the Logan, you said it.
Mm-hmm.
They spent a lot of their budget on voice acting. The voice acting is pretty good. It's got a lot
yeah.
of charm.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's charismatic in a different way, and so early on for me, I'm finding that novel because I haven't like there is none of that in Dead Cells, and I love Dead Cells, but there's none of that there. Like, it's up to you why that dude is where he is and what he's doing and what his goals are. Like it's up to you, and that's neat in a way. But this is way more fleshed out. So I think that's why, in my opinion, Caleb, is there's just one
That makes
period.
sense.
And if all you do is play these kind of games or enjoy the difficulty of bullet hells or whatever, like you're not getting a ton of story. Like even Cuphead is you're reading a lot of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like
And
the game's great, but like it's just so if this is your bag,
it's
you
a
don't
simple
get
story even
this.
too with Cuphead. It's not like there's a lot of twists and turns and everything else. It's
And both games you're
Yeah.
trying to give the devil his due. Interesting.
kind of yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like to me, I think I might have just gotten overhyped about this game. I don't know. It didn't hit me the way that it's hitting a lot of critics. So
yeah, it's not like people are like, oh, this is game of the year, game of the year. Like,
yeah,
it's a
I think it's a
perfectly fine game. It's a
yeah.
very good game.
There's a tier above this. I feel as far as game of the year goes.
Agreed. Yeah. So, but still very good and worth playing. So,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna keep
for
playing it.
sure.
I
Yeah.
I like it enough. Like
yeah,
it's if it whatever tier it's in, Caleb, it's in like
it's
highly playable.
yeah,
You
Oh
know.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
in that tier where like yeah, you beat that boss like because like once you beat Meg, Jason, you're gonna be like, holy shit, okay, I did that. Now then you're gonna immediately get to the next boss and you're like, fuck this thing, this is bullshit. Like, and then you'll get stronger, you'll figure out how to do it. But it's got that sense of accomplishment with each one of those. But yeah. So, um, yeah, Jason, you didn't have any other games, did you? I think those were your three. You bumped your
Nope.
mute button again, so that's cool. But Caleb and I
I
also
think that's it. Let me look.
okay. Caleb and I we'll talk amongst ourselves now. We both played Star Wars Squadrons.
I played the tutorial, and that's it. So
Okay, well we got a lot to talk about. Did you name your character?
no, you could do that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
Uh,
missed that.
I
Apparently.
I I, I try to name my characters dumb things, but it's fine. Uh, did that game?
Oh, okay. Okay. There's a screen
Yeah, there's a
where
screen where you can
there's
name your
two
character.
characters on the screen,
Yes.
and it says Rebellion and Empire. Wait, Rebellion and Alliance. Wait, is that
Right.
right? I don't remember the names of the factions. I'm not a
Empire.
huge Star Wars guy.
Okay.
But anyway, it has the two, and you can flip back and forth between them. But then it says like you will be starting as part of the Empire.
You pick
So
one
I'm
to
like,
start
wait,
as, but it's
I
like,
was like, you're giving me an option here, but no matter which one I pick, it's going to start. So that makes sense. You're supposed to pick their names there.
hmm
Got it. Okay. I was really confused there, so I'm glad you said that.
yeah, you just picked. You could write their names in, but I tried making them inappropriate, and it didn't really. They kept
Mm.
making things. I ended up getting one. I got one in called Hard Poo Cutter, but that was. I just figured it needs to be like Skywalker, like so. I don't know. I was trying to come up with dumb things.
I think that
Uh,
game's okay. It's fine. It seems like a flight sim. I don't know.
so the biggest problem I have with that game is the damn HUD. Like 50% of your screen is taken up by what the interior of that ship looks like. It's obnoxious. Like, so you're trying to look around and find guys and everything, and you got this. It's so yeah. So imagine your reticle is my eyeball, and then my arms are where or there's is the ship. So now you can't see anything around that, like of the TIE fighter and the X-wing. So everything here is not visible. If that makes any sense. So like just this spot up here is space, and then everything else here is all covered up, and it's
Are you are you on PlayStation for this, Logan?
yes.
Okay, you do still have the VR, so you
Oh,
could
you
try it
act like
that
I
way.
didn't play most of this in
Oh, okay.
VR.
All right, sorry.
So yes, I did do a lot of it in VR, which yeah, obviously it's your VR if you want to come back and go and grab it to do this in
It's
VR.
fine.
Okay, uh, I found it more enjoyable in VR. Um, I did up till there's 16 missions in the game. No, 15, sorry. 15 missions. I did up through mission 9. And then I said, I think I'm good here. I think I've seen what I want to see. Uh, the story is really nothing great. You just kind of go back
Yeah.
and forth between the two. Uh, probably the coolest thing to do is look around the ship when you're in between missions in VR. That's about the coolest thing to look at. Um, I did about 3 multiplayer games. The first one, I got my ass handed to me and got 0 kills, 1 assist. That was about it. By the time the third game rolled around, I was not dead last, so that was good. I think I had like 4 kills and a few assists, so I was feeling good about myself. And then I was like, all right, screw this, I'm taking this back. So, because I rented it, just did it for like 5 days. But at the same time, I also kept playing Hades and not playing that. So,
Yeah, the only reason that I have it is because I had a week left on GameFly, so I'm like, might as well get something.
right. It's something. Yeah, it's a game. If you like that, if you like dogfighting simulators and stuff, this is for you. Um,
Yeah.
I'm glad I at least checked it out. Kind of is, I guess I would say,
Yeah.
but
I don't know how
um,
far into it I'm gonna get. I probably won't finish it, even though it is short. There's
it
other stuff.
yeah. So I mean, I guess that's why I kind of gave up on it too. I was like, I'm not, nothing's changing in the game. Like it was. The only thing that would be is like, oh yeah, this time you have to play as the bombing ship, and you have to go and fly closer to the bigger ship and drop bombs on it, and your spaceship is slower. That's the difference. So, so you didn't want to get
Yeah.
into a lot of dogfights. It was kind of just, but those were the mission specific things. Which, why you would ever want to be one of the bombing ships in multiplayer is, it would make zero sense. Uh, because that whole thing is all about dogfighting. So why would you? There's no objective based things.
I know somebody that likes doing that because they are a lower skill player. So
Mm,
they like being the one to they like being in the bombing ship and then having everybody else kind of protect them.
mm.
So that I guess kind of makes sense, but
You do have a bigger hull with that, so you can take a lot more damage in the bombing ship.
yeah.
So like if you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be the guy at the tank, essentially, you can do that. So that's a way to play it, but I just don't find it fun.
Yeah.
So not me. I guess I mean, look back at like Jason, you and I played Halo all the time. I was just the guy that just ran in dual guns blazing. You sat back there with a sniper and helped pick people off. While I'm just like, ah!
Logan wasn't a big KD guy. That's all right.
Hey, I was
He's
positive.
done.
I was always, for the most part, positive. It just would be like 18 and 17.
The look on Jason's face right now.
I didn't go negative that often.
I don't. It was a long time ago, Logan. I don't.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to
I
pull
don't
up my
remember.
Halo waypoint and see what
You know
my
what, you
KD.
can too. That's what's crazy. Is Bungie.net still available?
I'm gonna
Let's dig
look and
in.
see. Oh gosh.
God. I played one other game, by the
Okay.
way.
Oh, okay.
Since I fired up my humongous Steam library today, just
Mm-hmm.
a wealth of video games, overwhelming amount, um, of Return of the Oberdin and Mother Russia Bleeds,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. I I played Mother Russia Bleeds for 20 minutes accidentally. I don't even know what happened. It's just like, wait, I'm downloading Hades. I need to get out of here. But I was enjoying that. It's I played Rage 4 this year, and it's kind of interesting to see like what they were trying to do back then when Mother Russia Bleeds came out and the genre they were going after. They were like trying to have this mix of like Devolver ultra violence with classic like 4-player arcade cabinet beat 'em up. And yeah, the game's all right. It's not bad. I remember why I bought it. But yeah, that was just like random 20-minute gaming for me.
Hmm. I'm I've gone into the Halo service record. This may be a bad idea.
Caleb,
You lost me.
would you like to update us on 13 Sentinels? How's that going?
Yeah, I finished 13 Sentinels.
Okay.
I actually got the platinum. If you
Of course
finish
you
that
did.
game, yeah, if you finish that game, you're like half an hour away from the platinum. So why not?
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I think as far as visual novels go, I was kind of I was the whole time I was kind of hoping because there's so much going on in that game. There's there's time travel, there's parallel universes, there's a talking cat, there's giant robots, there's everything you can imagine in thrown in this game. And I kept hoping that at the end there would be kind of something that was revealed that would just kind of tie everything together and make everything click for me. And that never really happened. There are a lot of really cool threads and cool storylines. And I think if you were to really dive into it, and even like if you were to replay sections of it, things would probably all click together and make sense. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna sit there and, I mean, I put 25 hours into this game. I'm not gonna sit there and
Whoa!
I'm not gonna
Wow.
look at the scenes over again, you know. I think it's cool. I was really hoping that it would click into place, and it didn't quite get there for me. As far as the strategy layer goes, I think it's kind of in a weird place, kind of halfway in between being kind of a throwaway, like just do this as a change of pace when you're bored of the visual novel part, and it's kind of halfway between that and an actual like in-depth strategy system. It doesn't get into either one, so it's a weird spot of like you have to kind of pay attention, but there's nothing really to sink your teeth into either. Um, so that part was kind of a miss for me, to be honest. Especially the last couple of missions, they just absolutely drag on. You're in it for like 20 minutes, and at that point your guys are pretty overpowered, and you're just kind of killing time until you can get to the end of the mission. So that part kind of missed for me, but I'd say overall it's really cool. Um, the 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 visual novel part does have a lot of really really cool stuff in it, but you really do have to want to immerse yourself in the whole story to make everything work. So you really do have to commit to it if you want to know everything that's going on there. But yeah, I would say definitely worth playing for people that are visual novel fans, but not a good entry point if you're not.
God.
I think that that's good of you. That's good of you to recognize your own immersion. Like how much are you going to adopt this thing? You know, like what are you going to do to make it enjoyable for you or to see it through? You know, I think that's a choice. We talked about taste a lot last week. Like that's a choice we all make. Like the kind of things that we are going to play, we know that we're going to enjoy for the most part, unless we're very clearly trying something new. And so you're recognizing that within yourself, which is good because then you can have a mature take on it, right? Like you don't have to say it's the best thing ever. You don't have to say it's the worst thing ever. That way you can be fairly reasonable and acknowledge your own interest because you like those kinds of games, you know?
Yeah.
Like I liked Mafia. I don't know if you guys would like Mafia. I like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like of course I enjoyed it because it scratched an itch, right? But that doesn't mean that I would say, "Oh God, you got to play it." It looks nice, but you don't have to
Yeah.
play it. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. It's just not there with necessary 10 to 10. You know. So
Yeah.
I get that, Caleb. You got to kind of invest yourself in at least wise, kind of willing to see the flaws, but not like, it's fine because I like this. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than everybody's got to play this and
Right. No.
F you if you don't like it.
I
Like,
Right.
honestly don't know a single other person that I would personally recommend this game to, to be honest.
I have tastes like that. I understand. I listen to a lot of heavy metal, and I literally have no one to talk to about it. I get it. Like it's fine. It's your own thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their thing. Speaking of everybody's got their thing,
Logan's ASMR segment starts now.
I know, right? Yeah. Hey, everybody's got their thing. It was not that, but uh, I, Caleb, you've got your own thing here with Sleepy Princess and the Demon Castle. I don't know what that is. You're gonna have to explain what that is. This is. I guess we're delving into the TV section here now, but
There you go, Logan. It sounds like a video game.
it sounds like a video game. But yes, this is a TV thing, which I'm assuming this is the anime show of the week.
Yeah, so this is very obviously anime.
Very well. I mean, this could, this could be like a Disney Junior, Nick Junior type show if you're into that. But
Okay, yeah, sure, you're right. So Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle is It's about the Sleepy Princess. So there was this princess who was captured by the demon lord, and so she's imprisoned, and he's trying to lure out the hero of the it's like, super generic like that. He's trying to lure out the hero or whatever. But the show doesn't focus on that at all. The show focuses on this princess who does not care that she has been captured at all. All she cares about is taking a nap. That's all she wants to do is take a nap, but she can't do it because she's trapped in this prison cell with a lumpy bed and nothing else. So the the whole show is just her trying to like improve her bed or like improve the conditions of her cell so that she can take a nap. And it is hilarious.
Is it literally like her just in a room? Like in
Yeah,
this
pretty
room
much.
the whole time?
Well, she pretty quickly finds a way out of her cell too. So
okay. Like
yeah.
I'm like, boy, like this could
Boo! Back in the cell. Boo!
So, for instance, the very first thing that she wants to do is she wants to make a more comfortable pillow, but she needs stuffing for the pillow. But conveniently, the prison guards are teddy bears.
Is this Spiritfarer? Like, what?
Yeah. So
I need a pillow. Someone shave a sheep and make me a pillow.
She gets this. She like steals a knife, and it shows the teddy bears coming towards her, and you're like, "Holy crap! She's gonna kill the teddy bears and steal their fur." And then she all of a sudden is like, no, that's not a good idea, I'll use this instead, and she gets out a brush and like brushes the fur off of them. It's hilarious.
Okay.
It really is. There are 3 episodes so far, 12 in total. And I will definitely keep watching this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking forward to see what she does next to better take a nap.
I am not blowing smoke, so am I, Caleb. Like literally, let's keep us posted. This is very important.
Yeah.
What is this on? Do I dare ask?
Oh, it's Japanese TV. So
okay, all right.
Funimation is what it's streaming.
Funimation. Okay, yeah. That's so it's like well, sometimes this stuff shows up on American things every once in a while, but so who knows?
Speaking of anime, Jason, there was something I was very excited that you watched.
I did. I dove into help me spell it. Akudama.
Sure.
Akudama Drive. That show is batshit, and I love it. It is crazier than I even expected. It's good too. It's genuinely good. Logan, these Akudama is a word for outlaw, right?
Yeah.
We're in a what time frame?
Cyberpunk post cyberpunk. I don't know.
So we are in a world of technology where the wealth gap is big, right? Poverty gap, like that typical scene. And Akudama are outlaws that live outside of the law, and they all wind up with the same goal, and they converge. All these characters converge, and they're just murdering people along the way and ripping the world apart along the way. Just the most horrendous people. And they're all coming together, and pretty soon it's basically the Hateful Eight. Like, it's very clearly inspired by Quentin Tarantino, because all of these ultra-violent people come together in a space, they're confined, and they just, for whatever reason, decide not to murder each other, at least right away. Like, they probably should, like in most Tarantino stuff, like they should probably just kill one another right away. But no, let's stay in this confined space and do some backstory and talk about ourselves and have conversations with each other. And then the story kind of interjects in between. It's the best way. And maybe I'm not doing it justice, Caleb, but that's what it feels like to me.
You got it.
And it's fun.
Did you notice that the you mentioned Tarantino? Did you notice that the second episode is called Reservoir Dogs?
Yes. Yeah, that's where it clicked for me. I was like, I saw that title and then I thought about the first episode and I was like, oh, yeah, they're all together. They're on the first spot.
They're all named after movies. I don't forget what the first one was.
Okay. Is Doctor named after a movie? The doctor character? I thought her name was just Doctor.
No, the episode names.
Oh, the episode names. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't
Okay.
remember
So
what the
the
first one's
first
called.
episode is named Seven,
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
and
Yeah.
then the one that's on Thursday is called Mission Impossible. So there you go.
Logan, I'm like this close to asking you to watch that. It's good. It's surprisingly good, and it's 22 minutes. But
Oh, there are only 20 half-hour episodes. Okay, that could be a
yeah, and
possibility.
there's 12 total, right, Caleb? So it'll be a
Right,
quick
yeah.
run, just like we were talking about.
It's
Subtitles, so you gotta, it's airing
I
now
have
in
to pay
Japan,
attention.
so you do have to pay attention. But it's good. Like
Okay.
it's good. It's not. I was so surprised. I was like, I'm gonna try this just because I haven't watched anime in forever. The guy who has a Spike Spiegel poster in his basement hasn't watched anime in forever, and so I decided to try it, and I'm really glad I'm watching it. It's good, Caleb. I like it a lot.
And like I said, I think I said it last week too. It's by the writer of Danganronpa. So this is it. It's going to twist at some point. You know it's going to, because all those games do.
So and that's okay because it's absolutely batshit anyway.
Yeah,
like it's out of control, crazy, but in a good way, a way that you can appreciate, not too abstract, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of batshit, I have continued diving down the hole of Lovecraft Country. Oh boy, that thing goes places that I just finished episode 6, so I'm getting there with the end of that show. So there's only 4 episodes left. The season finale was last night. So I'll get caught. I'll probably finish it this week. Every episode of that show, I'm confused for about 40 minutes of it. And then it all makes sense. And then the next episode starts, and I'm confused all over again. And I don't know where the hell it's going on, but I can't help but continue watching it. That's all.
I got tired of that cycle in episode 4, I think, and I was just like, nope, not for me.
Episode 6 is like the first 20 minutes is all in Korean, and you don't even.
Oh my god! Of course it is.
And you don't even know why until all of a sudden you see a character in the background and you're like, oh, hey, look, it's that guy. And then there you go from there. But holy shit, like we started watching. It was one of those last night where I was like, we want to watch another one? Yeah, sure. And then we're like, what the fuck are we doing? What is this? I was like, are we still watching the same show? Did we accidentally click the wrong show? Like, no, it's the same show. But yeah, that's Lovecraft Country. And now I'm too far in to stop. Like
you are.
Oh,
no, you're over
I'm
halfway.
pot committed. I mean, this is yeah. So
you got to do it for us. We got to live vicariously through you on this one.
And I'll tell you if there's a payoff. As of right now, I don't know. Show's real weird.
People like that show. Critics like that show. Yeah. So I bet it's going somewhere.
It's mixed, I think.
It's mixed.
There's people who love it and people who hate it. Where at least with Watchmen, it was like people may not have always enjoyed all of Watchmen, but they respected Watchmen for what it was and what it did. This one, it doesn't. I don't think it holds that same level of respect, even though they may not like it. So,
when you see a catapult at the beginning of the episode, and then at the end of the episode, they try to launch someone to the moon with the catapult. I mean, Toady. I mean, Watchmen's fantastic.
That thing.
What are you gonna do? Yeah,
Watchmen's real good.
It's good. Yeah, we like that show. Master of Unlocking, Watchmen.
Gosh, where did that land on our? Was that was in our top 5? I don't think it was. It definitely wasn't 1, but it was top 5. I think.
Yeah, we gave it its due.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. I thought it ended up there. What else? You guys have got a lot of stuff on your list that you guys have watched this week. Jason, we want to hit on where you're at with Ted Lasso?
I've watched 2 episodes of Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Oh my god, guys, when he throws the door open after the assistant GM or whatever that guy's title
He's the
is.
communications guy. Yeah.
See you later. And Ted just like slams the door open. Yes. And he walks out. Oh my! And it's I can't remember the owner's name, but her reaction, like he slams the door open, and she's like, ah! And he scares both of them, and he's just yes. And like his approval of that joke. Oh, I was crying. I rewound it 4 times. That's how funny I thought that was. The funniest thing I've seen on TV in years. Seriously, I've laughed, but not. Oh, that was funny. That was funny.
There are things in that show that will tickle you in ways that you just don't that like you didn't realize that was going to be funny, but man, it was funny. Like so,
10 episodes,
10, yeah.
1 season,
10 episodes. I could have had.
I will milk that thing.
I could have had 26 and been happy. Like that show's real good.
It's the overwhelming positivity of that show.
Yeah.
It is just it's just pitch perfect because there are antagonists and there's a protagonist and people very clearly disapprove of him, but he does not care. And the way that Ted's relentless positivity just keeps going is great. And I've only watched 2 episodes, but that's my takeaway from those 2 episodes. So good.
Yeah,
so good.
I'm excited for you to continue on with that show. It's a favorite of mine. And what else you got there? You got a few things, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Caleb, do you have anything that you want to get to, or do you want me to go?
One thing real quick, and then my section will be done. Is just I'm more and more agreeing with you, Logan, that I think this is probably the weaker of the seasons of Fargo. It's still good, but it's not anything close to what we've gotten before out of Fargo. So we'll see how the season goes, but I just wanted to mention that I think you're pretty much right there.
Okay. You also noted the Eric Andre show, just as
I've been watching the Eric Andre show. I don't have a ton to say. It's stupid. There's some stuff that's hilarious and some stuff that's just really bad, like any Adult Swim show, really. So it's coming back in next week, I think. So I'm just watching the old ones.
Okay. All right, Jason, you got a couple here.
You mentioned Fargo, Caleb. I'll echo that sentiment as well. We are still in quality television territory, but we are far away from season 1 and 2 of Fargo.
Yeah. Or even 3, really.
I will. Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. I don't think as highly of 3 as I do 1 and 2. I guess but 3 is still so far something I enjoy quite a bit more. I'm caught up to last night's. Are you guys caught up?
Okay. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think that where this one is, where it is, Fargo is positioned differently. And so we were talking about, Caleb, about immersion, and I recognize this about myself, especially with FX shows, is that if I'm going to enjoy them, I need to be a bit of an apologist or understand the thing I'm signing up for. And so what we know is this is not the traditional Fargo that we're used to with the quirky characters, but they're quirky in a different way. They're very serious when they interact with one another, and the stuff they're saying is actually as absurd as Fargo has ever been, but they're saying it without any of the personality and kitsch. But the things they are saying are absolutely stupid to one another. They're just delivered in a different way. So once I realized that, and this isn't a big spoiler, this episode is about the brothers, right? This week's they're who's going to own the Italian family's responsibility. And so the war within that family, it's more of a cold war in the beginning of that episode. There's not a whole lot of action. It's more psychological, and everything that those characters are saying to one another is just the dumbest thing on earth. But that's okay because it's Fargo, and it's delivered in just such the somber, serious tone where everyone thinks they're the toughest guy in the room. And that's just way different than what we've seen out of Fargo, where their characters are way over the top. These characters aren't, they're muted compared to that, but still just as dumb and just as flawed. So I think that's how I've reconciled the strength of this season. And I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit more through that lens. I know that they're trying to do something different. It is very deliberate, and it is just as wacky, but the characters are delivering it in a totally different way. So that's my opinion. But we haven't finished it, so we'll see. I could be way off, and it could get even more dry. And if it does, whew, you boy, yeah. So that's Fargo.
I was just gonna look and see. That's typical Fargo. That's typically an 8-episode show, isn't it?
This one is 11. There was some weird stuff due to the scheduling where they chose to split up the last one.
Oh well, Fargo's are usually 10 episodes. So
10.
Okay, 10.
The one other thing on my mind, real quick, I want to mention about that show is it's funny. Before this show aired, I was talking about how, FX gave Kurt Sutter a ton of rope. Have you noticed the length of these episodes?
Mm-hmm.
They are long. Like they've given Holly the same amount of rope. Like you go forth and do. We trust you, and be it as long as you want because you've earned it.
I mean,
so
how can
that
you
can
not
mean
with
trouble.
him? You know, like you're
After
gonna make
3
us
of
a
those
show,
seasons,
do what you want. Yeah,
right, and that's what like Sutter earned that with Sons of Anarchy. Like this show is a huge cash cow for us. You do whatever you want, and that's also part of their brand, right? Is that they're you bring us a show, and if it succeeds, we will ride with you. So I do like that about FX quite a bit, but also I'm not watching anything else on FX besides Fargo, where I used to feel like I was watching at least 2 shows almost all the time. So
yeah, that's true. They've what's even on FX right now?
there's Mr. In Between, which is about a hitman, I think, from England. I think that show is received pretty well, but that's the only thing I can think of. I know I'm forgetting something. There's another show I think that's doing pretty well for them that I'm flaking on. Apologies, FX.
Well, Ryan Murphy, his current show is on Netflix, so because he's doing that Nurse Ratched show on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
My wife is watching that, and she said it's very mediocre television.
It looks like it.
Yeah. I watched about half of the first episode and didn't really hook me.
I just walked into our bedroom. She's probably watching it right now, and she's just sitting there on her phone playing a game, and it's on in the background. So
yeah,
that tells you the quality of that show.
I have 3 more shows. Does anybody else have shows?
Nope.
I have shows, but they are dumb. So if you'd like a break, I can.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have Supermarket Sweep.
I forgot that came back.
Oh my gosh. So that was one of my favorite game shows as a kid growing up. I don't know why I always thought it was just a fun game show. I always wanted to go run around through a supermarket. It happened to me once in a checkout lane. There was this lady was like, she just said, "Here, if you go and get this real quick and bring it back, it's free." And it was some random ice cream thing, and I had to leave the checkout line and go and run and find it and bring it back, and it was the greatest experience of my life. I've never been more happy to do that. Uh, I don't even know if she really meant it or not, or if it was just like here, I have this free coupon thing, and she wanted to just mess with me. But it was whatever it is, it's great. I want it. I won Supermarket Sweep that day. Leslie Jones.
It's such a Logan story.
Sorry.
Anyway, keep going.
Leslie Jones is hosting. My kids like her as a host. They're like, she's crazy. We like her. She's fun. And I'm sitting here kind of going, she swears a lot for a primetime network TV show. We should be like, oh, you got your ass back here. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, all right. Well, I guess my children know what the good words and the bad words are, but still just a little surprising for a game show on primetime network television to have some swear words thrown in there. But it's Leslie Jones. That's what she does. She's not a bad host by any means. The show is basically the same. I mean, there's really not a lot of difference in the show, but they're hour-long episodes, so they do essentially it's a double episode is all it is. So it's essentially the same half-hour idea. The sweatshirts are still there, so you still get the awful god awful sweatshirt when you go to do your sweep. And I still yell at everyone for. There's got to be a rule that you can't just like take your arm and like run along the aisle and shove everything in your cart, because I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but and why they always skip over the medicine aisle, like cough syrup. That stuff's it's small and it's expensive for the size that you get. Instead of running over and grabbing the big expensive meats and the diapers that fill up the cart really fast, just get the small medicines, put them in your cart. It's going to add up faster. You can change carts out fast. That is the strategy. No one's followed it in the last 30 years. And I'm done about supermarket sweep. Jason, go on to the next show.
So I have 3 more. We have Westworld. I did decide that I was going to finish out season 3 of Westworld.
Next.
No kidding. That show is not great. The really difficult thing for me is that Aaron Paul is quite good, as he always is, in a sea of just poor direction, poor writing, and just that show's lost. Like it's not lost the show. It's just like it has no direction for the most part throughout that entire season until the end of the last episode. Probably the last 30 minutes are the best stuff from this season, because they tie it back to season 1 in really interesting ways that you didn't see coming. And the problem is you have to wade through 7 mediocre episodes of television to get there. It's just it's lost its way, that show, from what was a pretty special first season. And then you see a glimpse of it at the end of the 3rd season. It's like, God, that's why I like this show. And they have some really rewarding reveals, and they explain a lot that you didn't understand, but getting there is just such a mess that it's no wonder, like Caleb and other people like you, that fell off of it, because it's just not great getting there. But there's an intriguing stinger for the 4th season. I bet that's got to be the final season. It's greenlit, but I would imagine it's the last season of that show. And I will watch probably the 4th season, just because if they continue to make it all make sense in interesting ways linked to back when it was good, that'll probably be enough for me to get through it. And having said that, I put that up against I finished The Boys, and then I went into what? Yeah, I finished The Boys.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what I think that was priority 1 this week, is I finished The Boys, because I knew that I could get through it because they were all out. So I watched the second half of that season, and then went into Westworld, and that was a weird, like, we talked about like going from Last of Us to Ghost of Tsushima, or Last of Us to Spiritfarer, and how one experience can color your impression of the next without like a palate cleanser necessarily. And so it was interesting to see a moving graphic novel up against Westworld, like somber sci-fi, like super self-serious, because The Boys is not even remotely serious, and it's just beyond absurd because it's a moving comic book, right? And then you go to Westworld, and it's like they're shot differently, they're produced differently. Like Westworld, regardless of how you feel about the writing of that show and the production of it, like it will still be an HBO show, like well lit, expensively shot, like money, money, money. You know what I mean? And so you can kind of, I felt the budget quality of The Boys smash up against Westworld, and it was kind of like jarring for me a little bit. Not that I enjoy The Boys as much as you guys do anyway, but that was more like another like, ooh, like Prime show hitting HBO. And then the one Prime show I don't feel that way about is Mrs. Maisel, because that show looks expensive, both the way it's shot and the costume design is crazy. But The Boys, I think, is a little more budget than that, or or at least why it feels like that in my opinion, compared to other shows. So I think The Boys is fine. I'm not in love with it. I think that you guys are probably higher on it than I am. That doesn't mean I think it's bad. It just doesn't really do it for me. Just doesn't hit me in that sweet spot. But it's not bad. It's fine. So you guys are finished with that too, right? You're both done with it.
Yep.
Yeah. The last show that I watched was I guess one other thing about The Boys is, you guys feel like you have a good understanding where they're going into the next season?
Yeah,
I think I missed something there.
Okay, so the senator who was in charge of the committee.
Yeah, the head blower upper.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so essentially now there's a soup that's in politics now, where there's never been a soup that's been in the political realm, especially somebody who's hiding as a soup in the political realm. So I think that's the piece that is you know they've been Vought has been lobbying to get more soups in there. Well, she's been actively lobbying against Vought, but come to find out she's a bad superhero in general. But is she also the person who was let out of that weird prison thing? Because that, or not the prison thing, but that mental health facility, because she was the one who was exploding people, and then all of a sudden this girl can too.
The girl with the shaved head, she
Yeah, the
exploded
girl.
someone's head?
That's what she was doing when she wasn't exploding heads, but she was like tearing people apart.
Yeah,
Trying to
that's
think.
different
Yeah, I think
powers,
that's
I
a
think.
separate power. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
tearing people apart from, I guess, yeah. So heads
It's The
versus,
Boys. It's The Boys.
yeah. That was the only thing that kind of threw me. I was like, wait a minute, that can't be the same person because she's been living this life. Maybe
Yeah.
we find out they're related or something at some point, but
I do think Sean Ashmore, we were talking about him. I think he comes in and he's a pretty good actor, Sean Ashmore. So like he comes in and like does a really good performance and like more like the most believable out of all of them. And the way that he's so disappointed when his statue's gone, like, of course your statue's gone. Like you thought your statue was gonna be here?
like you're not in the
Like,
seven anymore. Like
yeah,
it's
wait, what? Wait, why do you think but he's just genuinely shocked and then he does himself in.
like
So
that's yeah. And the fact that he just sat there and watched superhero porno too,
the parodies, the
the
porn
porn
parodies
parodies of everybody,
of
like
all of them. Yeah. The one thing you just said I think is interesting is what if they turn Homelander into a good guy? That might be interesting. I could get beyond that because if
mhm.
he has to be the one to then go, um, like, oh, you're the only one that can take on our corrupt politician or the corrupt infrastructure that we now have. Like that would
Yeah.
be an interesting way to go because he is irredeemable at this point. And if
Oh,
they try to redeem him, that would be interesting.
yeah, that like he's going to try to go on like a redemption run to try to get his son back.
That would be interesting. I would that would be complex for the boys, but sure, why not? Because he's obviously the worst on
Yeah.
purpose.
I mean I mean he was almost the worst, but it was Stormfront was technically the worst.
Yeah, I mean, she's got like that was kind of disappointing for me because like 2020 is hey 2020 TV. It's bad to be a racist. Like I get it. I know. I know. Every bad guy in every TV show is racist. I understand. I
Mhm.
know. I get it. Stormfront
It's
too.
not.
Okay.
It's not a
Okay.
deep show, Jason.
I
Yeah,
That's
know.
not
let's
what they're
I
going
know.
for.
I
no.
know. I know. I know.
The
You're right.
Boys is about
You're
as
right.
superficial as it gets with I mean it is
You know what? Actually, it's funny you guys mentioned that. I was like, if this is scratching any kind of itch for me, it's scratching the Yellowstone itch a little bit. Like if the boys knows what it is,
yeah.
Mhm.
and it's not apologizing for it. So I
No.
was like, I kind of like Homelander and Costner are a little bit. They're right there for me a
It
little bit.
that
Yeah.
is yeah, The Boys is very much popcorn television. If there's there's popcorn movies, The Boys is popcorn television.
Um, I have one other TV show. How are you guys on shows?
I'm good.
I'm good. I needed after this I'll need a definition of a TV show, but we'll have to go for that.
Okay. Go ahead, Jason.
You guys have both watched McMillions, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All the way through, yes.
I started McMillions. I'm on episode 6, I think.
You could probably stop there.
Yeah, you're not the only one who said that to me. That first episode, though, of McMillions, fire. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first half of that show is very good, and the last half is very bad. I shouldn't say very bad. The first half is very good, and the last half is just. If I had to rank it 1 to 5, it's like it just every episode just goes down a tier from there. I mean, so yeah, like just that's basically the way it goes with that show. I don't know why.
FBI agent Doug really comes out strong in that first episode.
Yeah, he does.
So it's hard because he's obviously entertaining, and then it seems like the less of him, the worse the show is.
Well, and then the less McDonald's too. I think that's the other part. It's like it goes from, hey, I'm familiar with this Monopoly game and how all the McDonald's stuff is, and then it just, oh, we lost Caleb.
Caleb, are you there?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
The mob infrastructure stuff, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like once it started to get into the mob infrastructure stuff and it got more into their families and who they were and everything else, and it just loses its luster because those people aren't as interesting as.
Yeah. Do they and I don't care if you spoil this for me. Oh yes. All right. Needs another beer.
But now we're in different in time zones here. It's messing me up.
It's true. The way in which he steals the prince, is that revealed later on?
Yeah, but it's
okay. Like the actual doing of the deed is still something I don't understand.
Okay, they do explain it and how they get disseminated, and where
I've seen that, but I know how they're like how they. Yes, disseminated, how they wind up in everyone's hands and the financial structure of which
you've already seen it, you just don't know it.
Okay.
Of how
it's very anticlimactic.
Is
right.
it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so
of course it is.
So once they reveal it, you're like, you talked about this in the first episode. Like, this is that's why I think we're maybe the back end of that, because you get to learn all about those the mob family and everything else, and then they're just then they spend an entire episode on this other family with the younger guy that wins, and it's like his dad that gave him the ticket, or was his stepdad or something that gave him the tickets. Like, that whole thing is that's when stuff starts to slow down and that show gets a little drawn out. But those first few people that with the mob family, with the crazy lady with the fake red hair, they're crazy. Those people are nuts, and they were a legit mob family from Pennsylvania, of all places.
I do find that a little bit interesting because like the mafia still exists out there. Like it's interesting because organized crime is a thing. It's not just The Sopranos or what you see on TV. Like, there are people that are operating scams, and this is, for better or worse than how you feel about the show, this was a big operation they had going, and really interesting that it even happened and existed. And I guess some of it strong, some of it not, some of it interesting, some of it not.
Yeah.
So.
So.
That's it. I watched a bleep load of TV.
Yeah, you did.
And I finished Ghost of Tsushima. I told you guys, you
consumed a lot of media.
Relentlessly entertaining myself these next 3 months. Like, you just watch out, man. It's gonna get crazy. Yeah, I'm coming with it.
All I did was play Hades. I do need confirmation on what this is, and I guess we need something rule moving forward. If it is streaming only, and it is technically a movie, does it count for TV?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, what is John Bronco?
A movie.
That is a short film.
A short film. Okay. All right. That's why I didn't know if it was something we talk about here or not.
You could talk about it.
You can
It's
talk
not
about
like
it.
Okay.
Whether or not it's eligible for our list is whatever, but like you can
Yeah,
talk
well, I
about
guess we can talk about it
Bronco.
here. Did you guys watch it?
Come
I
with the
did.
John Bronco. I didn't.
You didn't? Caleb, you did though?
Yeah.
It's real dumb. It's real dumb in a way
It's
that,
exactly what you expect.
yeah, it's what, like 52 minutes, something weird like that. If it was a minute longer, I think it would have overstayed its welcome. But for what it was, I was entertained for that time. So
Yep.
I will leave it at that. And because Jason, you should watch it because I think obviously you like Walton Goggins. You'll think
It's
it's
funny.
it's funny. It's real funny. Uh, but
It could have probably been half an hour.
maybe, yeah.
There are some parts of it that don't land super well, but
Yeah, I would say maybe part of that like last like 10, 15 minutes maybe drug on a little bit too long.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that would. So yeah, you're right. That show, it's funny though. It's definitely.
I'll probably watch that. I do love Walton Goggins. You're right.
It is.
It makes me go ahead, Caleb.
Mm.
I was gonna say it's the right format. It's you could not have this could not have been a feature length film, and this could not have been if they would have tried to make multiple episodes into a TV show. It would have been terrible.
No.
They did the right thing here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if they would have tried to make it like 4 half-hour episodes, it'd have been too long. They try to make it, like I said, that's what I think I said. Yeah, I was like, if it was a minute longer, it wouldn't have been any good.
Yep.
Just because it really could have. But it at the same time, if it was 10 minutes shorter, I'd maybe even give it I'd give it 10 tacos up. I don't know. I don't even know what that means, but that's the rating it would get.
When you said Walton Goggins, it makes me a little bit. I tried to ask Caleb years ago. He wouldn't do it. But Walton Goggins' best performance, in my opinion, is The Shield, and back when no one knew who he was. He's unreal on that show. The Shield's one of my favorite shows of all time. But like it also the first three seasons of that show are 4x3. It's that
Hard
old.
to go back and watch
And
now.
every season of
Yeah.
that show is like the old style 22, 24 episodes too. So it's
It's a
an
lot.
investment. It's an investment if you want to
It's
get
all
into it now.
good, but it's a lot. It's one of the it's like we have nice things because of The Shield. Like it's one of those early golden era TV shows. And if you look at the cast list for that now, you're like, oh, this is where this person got started. This is where this person got started. And man, Walton Goggins, young Walton Goggins at that time, man, he's arguably the best actor on that show in the way that he's the best actor on Justified. But 7 seasons of a show that started in '98, hard to get people to watch. But excellent TV, The Shield, Walton Goggins. John Bronco now. Come a long way, Walton. Congratulations.
Exactly. All right. Anybody have anything else for the week? Otherwise, I mean, there was some news floating around, but yeah, nothing that exciting. Nothing of note, I would say.
There's one news story that I think
you
is
do?
kind
You
of
got
important.
one?
Well, it's a TV news story, not
Oh.
a games news story.
Oh.
But
Go
did you
for it.
guys see that
Yes.
there is going to be a limited series of Dexter?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
immediately texted each other. Us and our wives watched it all together years ago. We watched a lot of that show together, and we enjoyed a lot of that, and didn't enjoy a lot. Didn't enjoy the latter half of that. That's for sure.
Right. Well, so I listened to an interview. So this is the original showrunner is back. The guy that did the seasons 1 through 4 is back for the limited series. So it was seasons 1 through 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. So there were 3 showrunners total. And this is the original one is coming back to do this thing.
I would even take
there's an interview with him. Yeah, no kidding. He by the way, the 6 through 8 was the same guy that did Iron Fist on Netflix that everybody hated. So apparently this guy is just
maybe he should just not have a job anymore.
Right.
back to being a
But anyway,
PA.
so he said that this is not season 9. They're not doing a season 9 of Dexter. This is its own standalone thing, but it does take place after the events of Dexter.
Okay.
So he said several times, we're not undoing anything that happened in Dexter. So they're not going back and changing the ending or anything like that.
Like Deb's still dead. Like this,
so
this is
yeah. So
he's a lumberjack.
So this is it's gonna pick up about 10 years after, in somewhat real time, like concurrent with the gap that's been there.
I mean, Michael C. Hall's 10 years older, yeah.
Yep. And then he said that when they asked about Jennifer Carpenter Deb, and if she would have a role in it, he kind of hesitated, and then he says, I cannot confirm either way on that. And the interviewer, who is a TV reporter, immediately said, okay, so that usually means yes. And everybody on the interview started laughing. So it's a good possibility that she's going to be involved somehow.
I mean,
whether that's like flashbacks or if she's
plays Dexter's dad's role.
Yeah, it could be. It could be a lot of different things, but there's a good possibility that she will be in the show.
That guy's still kicking? Dexter's dad?
Has he been in anything else? I don't even
know. Oh yeah, he's been in a lot of things. He always plays like oh gosh, what is his name? I'm trying to think of what his name is now. He was in Unhappily Ever After, if that tells you anything, with Bobcat Goldthwait years ago. Oh no, wait, that's a different guy completely. This is James Remar.
Wait, no, but that guy was on Dexter.
He was.
He was the chief.
He was the chief. You're right. Yeah, that got my guy confused. This is James Remar. James Remar.
Harry Morgan is Dexter's father.
Yeah, the actor's name is James Remar. He is still kicking. He is still alive. So he does have a possibility to come back. It appears he is on the new Magnum PI show. Is that what? Yeah.
Okay.
And Black Lightning, which is on the CW.
I bet Jennifer Carpenter is in that role. I bet she navigates Dexter through this new world. I bet he's just seeing her in the way that he saw Harry.
Yeah. I do have a little bit of video game news. I just remembered. So your PlayStation trophies, remember how there was like a level attached to them? Like there was a number attached to it, even though you're like a little status bar. I remember I was late teens, early 20s in my level. Caleb, you remember where you were at all?
I think like 20 something, 30 maybe. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I mean, Jason, you were probably, I think you were like a little bit behind me, not a lot, so somewhere around there. If you go and look at it now, I'm at level 201.
Whoa.
They have reallocated all of your PlayStation trophies, and they are now at hey, look, you got yours right there. Everybody's trophy level is now where it used to be up to 100. Now it goes up to 1,000. So what are you at there,
Jason? 610.
Nice.
610?
Which is 610, which is way higher than, unless is that cumulative trophy
That's
count?
cumulative trophy count, I think.
Oh, sorry, 166.
166.
166. Sorry,
okay, yeah. I was like, wow, like that's.
I apologize. No, 166. My cumulative trophies are 610.
Yeah, so just a really random thing that they did. Yeah, my cumulative trophies are 720 with a level of 201.
Okay.
Caleb's looking his up vigorously, I can see. So it must be something new that they're doing with the UI. Oh, which we didn't talk about the UI.
That was big news.
That was. Yeah, that was very big news. I like it a lot. I think that card system, I'm a little worried there might be some excess stuff there. Because there was a lot of times I felt like they were pulling up those cards and they were scrolling over to the right a lot for some things. But there was a lot of things that looked useful there. I think like gosh, where should we start? I mean, the idea that there's like a permanent party that you can have, I think that's a really cool thing. So it looks like they're trying to do what Discord does and have like permanent parties set up there. I think that's a really cool thing that you can set up and basically send screenshots, share videos, that kind of stuff to that, even when somebody's not online. So that's a nice, cool thing. They've got the little tip thing. I don't know how many games will take advantage of that, but it looks like if you have to be a PlayStation Plus member, but if it'll tell you like, oh hey, you're stuck here, you want to find a collectible in this area, like hey, here's a little tip thing to do that. The thing I think
And
for
there was no 20-second intro with, "Hey guys, just here today to show you how to get this trophy."
yeah, like it with yeah. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and make sure you give the old bell a ring there. Exactly, and and then like a obnoxious intro in front of it. Yeah. Anyway, the other thing I thought was cool, especially for Jason and I who have a little more time to manage, was the thing that popped up and would tell you like, hey, this is how long this level is. Like so, you've got 14 minutes until your next checkpoint or until your next task is complete. I think that's something that it's like, okay, like you're getting ready to go to bed and you're like, oh, do I want to do one more of these? Like, it's only 15 minutes. Okay, I can do 15 minutes. If it's another 45, you might think twice about it. But I think that's a cool little feature. I don't know how many games they're showing that on a first party game. So does Assassin's Creed Valhalla have that on there? I don't know. Uh, because it sounds like the Xbox UI, nothing's changing.
Correct.
From what I can tell, it's the same as you
It's
have today.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
absolutely
I'm on a
nothing.
preview. I'm on a preview, but I think you guys are on the same system I am.
Yeah.
It's the updated, a little bit slicker. I don't know what they would even call it, tile system. It's kind of like that, but it's less dynamic than the PS5. But that's the theme, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah, that's what they're sticking with.
and the thing that really strikes me about the PlayStation thing, the one, and forgive me, Logan, I don't think you mentioned this. The if you wanted to chat with me while I was playing a different game, you could actually just quickly watch me play.
there's
Like,
a picture-in-picture mode that you can do, which is pretty cool. I think that the
I
technology
think
for
that's
I
awesome.
think that's very cool. So I did not, no, I didn't mention that, but yeah, that we'll see how well it works in functionality. It looks a lot better than what Xbox did originally with that like the TV integration stuff that they tried to do with the picture in picture. That thing was a mess. But
What I see out of them now is where, forgive me, I'm old, but the PlayStation 2 going into the PlayStation 3 and all of the social features that they promised us, including PlayStation Home,
mhm,
where they made big promises about how you could interact with other gamers in a space and show off your trophy case, quote unquote, in your living space. And you were going to have this virtual room dedicated to your accomplishments from games and be able to interact with Logan's space and Caleb's space and Jason's space and go visit them and interact with them. And that never happened, right? PlayStation
mhm,
Home was just an idea that never came to fruition. But I was so into that and thought that it was going to be the next thing for us to all share our gaming experience. And I was so sold on the PlayStation 3 being the place that that was going to happen. And it turned out that the 360 did just what your friends are doing better.
mhm.
And
It
not
was
only that,
simple.
but they had achievements, and achievements were a long way ahead of trophies. And so PlayStation 3
Trophies didn't even
users,
exist at the beginning.
no, they did not.
Mm-mm.
And people were like, where the hell are these things? And then Metal Gear Solid 4
Four.
launched without them. Sorry, yeah, 4
Mm-hmm.
launched without them. Like, and trophies had hit other games, first party games, maybe a month or 2 months prior to that. And like the first Uncharted didn't have them, Uncharted 2 didn't have them. Like, there are games now that have them. Maybe 2 had them, sorry. But one
Yeah.
definitely I don't think did. So the what I see out of this is a lot of promise, and I hope that they can deliver because it's something that Xbox isn't doing. and I'm excited the same way I was about PlayStation Home when I see these kind of social advancements. And I'm in a different place in my life where I won't use them, but I do think that for their core gamer, the people that are excited about the PlayStation 5 that want to use these features, I think it moves things forward in a really nice way. And I hope that they nail it, because I think for me, that's the stuff that the 360 did in that generation that the PS3 did not. Like they said they were going to do all this social stuff. It didn't. It didn't land. It didn't hit. And then the 360 just went about its business, introducing an achievement system, which is the trophy system, more or less now. And then a really nice way of tracking your friends. Simple stuff like when BioShock launched, it was one of the first games that I remember a bunch of people I knew were all playing at the same time. And when you went to your friends list, it was like, so and so is in this part of the game playing this. And it wasn't just chapter 1, chapter 2. It was stuff like, I remember checking on Logan's. I remember this vividly. It says, having an evening with the Mad Dr. Steinman, or something very descriptive about where you were in that game. And that was stuff that we hadn't seen before. And it was a quick way for me to know Logan's on his couch and he's playing this part right now. And I can visualize where he's at. And that was really novel. That was neat. And that was something I thought PlayStation Home for sure was going to give us. And it did. It was like a total fucking disaster. Just like that whole generation was for them, unfortunately. But now, here we go. They're finding new ways to advance this social element, and if they nail it, good for them. Especially going in with the install base, like this, the platform leader. It's the one that people want to continue to do. Trophies have exploded in the way achievements did for that generation. So if they do this right, and Xbox continues to just have a stagnant dashboard, that's another way that the PlayStation could get a win here early on in this generation.
Speaking of trophies, 305 is the number.
Blowing us out of the water as usual.
Yeah.
So almost double.
Yeah.
You've primarily played on PlayStation.
I have 19 platinum trophies. That's kind of
I have
crazy.
1.
I don't have any. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive I don't have any. Where do you see that? Is that in aggregate?
I was looking on the app.
Logan's 201. I'm 166. But I don't know if there's must be in the app is the best way to.
Are you comparing right now? Maybe go.
Yeah, I compared with Logan.
Go all the way back to just the main trophies.
Okay.
Does it say at the top? Maybe I can't really see.
I think it's on the list. I think it's just you'd have to look down the list and see because it has all the like platinum, gold, bronze, silver, bronze.
Yeah, my selection of these is small enough that
you'd pretty much have to have 100% on most of those, unless it's a game with DLC.
I thought about doing it for Ghost, but then looked at the release calendar and said, nope.
Yeah,
not doing it.
That's an option in January.
It is. Yes, it is absolutely. If I'm not, we'll see how Valhalla is I don't know, received, I guess, and maybe I'll make a decision on what January is going to look like, because God knows there's going to be a lot of Assassin's Creed, especially with the 2-year gap. That's going to be a ridiculous amount of stuff to do in that game, I'm sure.
Did you guys want to kind of brainstorm how we're going to handle Game of the Year?
That sounds like a next podcast.
Okay.
I think we should dedicate like a good chunk of I mean, we could continue to do our usual format, but I bet that gets to be a long discussion. And I don't mind having it on the podcast. Why not? But I think next week or the week after that, in my opinion, is probably the best time to hash that out.
Yeah, because I would say this week there's very little game-wise that's going to be out this week.
We'll just have to make sure
to
we'll have to make sure to limit our TV and game notes so that we have time for that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Yep. Watch Dogs Legion, I think, is that Friday? No, that's next Friday.
That's next
the 29th. Yeah. So really nothing new out this week. Why
don't we earmark next week?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Yep. So, All right. Well, we will plan on that for next week, as well as the junior garlic butter bacon something from Sonic. So look forward to that next week, and we'll see you later from the Master of the Market podcast.
So